guys, welcome to today's video where I'll be showing you how I made a backpack. And I made this for my friend's birthday, so I don't currently have the backpack on me anymore, but I have plenty of photos and videos for you guys. And so first I want to explain the few beginning steps of making the backpack. And so the first thing was obviously sketching out my design idea. So I would know like how many pockets I wanted and just whatever features I wanted in the bag itself. And so I moved on to the pattern making process, and so I used brown craft paper. You can use copy paper or even wrapping paper. And then I used a folder as size reference because I want my backpack to hold folders, binders, and I think it was an 11-inch laptop. And so all the measurements and supplies needed will be listed down below because it's easier to see everything in one place. So now I'm going to send you guys to the voiceover where you can see what I've been talking about and understand the process better.
Here I have my pattern pieces laid out on the black outdoor fabric. And to cut out the lining, I use the black outdoor fabric as a guide. This is the main compartment, the front pocket, the laptop compartment and inside pockets, the side water bottle compartments, and the straps. First, I'm going to sew one side of a Velcro to the laptop compartment, and then the other half will go on to a piece of elastic. Then I'm going to sew the fabric good sides together on 3 sides, and then turn it right side out, and then top stitch on all 4 sides. Taking the inside pockets, I'm going to sew them all around, right sides together, except I'm going to leave a little opening so I can flip them right sides out and top stitch them down. Then with the side water bottle compartments, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the inside pockets.
So before I sewed on the second pocket at the bottom, I decided to write my brand name JD-PANDA, and I just used the masking tape as a guide, and then I just freehanded all the rest, so this is how it turned out.
Now for everything that will be attached to the lining, I first have my 2 inside pockets, then I'm going to sew the 3 sides down onto the lining. And then with the laptop compartment, I have the top of the elastic, and then the 3 sides of the laptop compartment pocket. And I also decided to split the top pocket into 2 smaller pockets. Now I'm going to sew the good side of the long strip to the good side of the back main compartment piece. And as you can see here, I did 2 rows of stitching to make sure everything is secured well and that it's more durable. Before I sew on the front piece, I'm going to attach the zipper. So I'm going to cut part of the long strip in the middle and attach my zipper by folding the raw edge on top so that it'll be covered up later. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. This is what it should look like when it's all done, and the good side of the zipper should be facing the outside so that the wrong side is inside with the laptop compartment pocket. With the zipper open, you want to sew the good side of the front main compartment to the good side of the long strip. So now you finished your lining and you want to keep it with the right side inside, and we'll move on to the next step. Now for the front pocket, you first want to sew the good side of the rectangular fabric to the good side of the long strip. And unlike what I did, you want to make sure that you center the ends of the long strip.
This is what it looks like when you turn it right sides out, and then for the bottom pieces, because they're not attached, you want to sew them together on this side. This is what it looks like when they're sewed together. And then you just want to snip the excess off and then sew this down closed.
Before attaching the back piece, I'm going to make a cut that is 1.5 inches down from the seam at the top, and then I'm going to make it slightly smaller than the zipper. Now I'm going to sew the good side of the back pocket piece to the good side of the strip. I'm going to repeat all the same steps to the lining, and for the outside I'm going to turn it right sides out. With the two pieces made, you're going to stuff the lining into the other pocket. To make the lining not move as much, I sewed the lining to the outdoor fabric at 4 different points at the top and bottom. At this point, I cut the hole in the pocket longer to match the length of the zipper, and then I'm folding the lining in a way so that the raw edge will be on top, because if you fold it in the other way, that will be seen in the inside of the pocket. After that, this is what it should look like. Now I'm going to sew the black fabric to the zipper, and so I'm taking the raw edge of the black fabric and I'm folding it inside. And here you have your completed zipper. And this is the completed front pocket. For my straps, I did cut off the corners at the bottom, and then I folded them right sides together, and I'm going to sew on all sides except the very top. When you finish the straps, you want to turn them right sides out, and you want to make sure that your stitching is completely secured, because my fabric frayed a lot, and so one stitch wasn't enough, so I had to go back and do like 2 or 3 more stitches. Now I'm going to take some pillow stuffing and evenly distribute them in the straps. As you've probably seen with other backpack straps, they have just like a line sewn down the middle of it, and so that's what I did here. Taking the strap adjusters, I'm going to cut a 4-inch piece of strapping, and I'm going to just feed it through the adjuster. Then I'm going to sew the strapping together at the top to prevent fraying. And to attach it to the backpack strap, I am sewing it to the back side and in an X and a square pattern. With 2 27-inch pieces of strapping, I'm going to fold up one end by 1 inch and then sew an X and a box. And taking the longer piece of strapping, I'm going to attach them to the adjusters. In order to attach the long strapping to the actual backpack, I'm going to cut out these 4 triangles and sew 2 of them right sides together on the 2 sides and leave the top open. This is what it looks like when it's turned right sides out, and to attach it to the strapping, you're going to fold in the raw edge underneath, and then I'm just going to sew a back and forth stitching all the way on the triangle. As you can hopefully see here, you can see the back and forth stitching. For the handles, 3 inches from the ends, I'm going to fold and sew down the strapping so that it can be stiffer and just have that more of a handle look. And this is what it should look like. For the main compartment pieces, I'm going to iron on some interfacing that is slightly smaller. And these are the items that will have to be attached to the main compartment. So that's the front pocket, the handles, the straps, and then a strapping to cover the raw edges. With one of the main compartment pieces, I sewed a box and X to indicate where I wanted the front pocket to go, and because some of the interfacing wasn't adhered. And then I'm taking some Heat and Bond Ultrahold, and I'm going to iron on one side to the front pocket and then the other side to the main compartment piece. So since I had so many layers, it was hard to get the Heat and Bond to fully adhere to both pieces, so I had to hand sew the front compartment piece to the front pocket, and I did go through the lining to make sure that the lining was also not moving around too much inside. Now for the handle that goes on the front side, I'm going to fold it up around 1 inch and sew a box and an X so that the raw edges are covered. And to attach it to the front main compartment piece, I also did the box and the X. Now onto the back, I'm going to attach one of the handles and then also the straps. And for the handle, you want to make sure it's around the same width as the handle in the front. And for the straps, I'm sewing the good side of the straps to the good side of the back piece. And for these straps, I honestly just went crazy with how many stitches I needed, but this is honestly to make sure that the straps don't come off, because with the backpack I had, the strap was the first thing that broke. Taking a piece of 2-inch strapping, I laid it across the raw edges and sewed it down with 5 straight stitches and 1 zigzag stitch at the top to make sure that everything is going to be secure. For the long strip of the main compartment, I'm going to fold it in half, and on the side with the fold, I'm going to cut up around 9 inches in the center. Here I have the good side of the long strip connected to the back of the main compartment, and I'm just doing that for reference because on the sides, I'm attaching the water bottle compartments. So it goes from the bottom edge of the main compartment to wherever it is to the top. To attach them together, I used a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the other side of the water bottle compartment to the other side of the long strip. So you don't want to actually sew down the 2 sides all the way, because at the bottom we have to fold the raw edges inside. And so here I'm making 3 pleats that are facing the back of the backpack, and I'm going to sew that bottom down. Now I'm going to sew the long strip to the back of the backpack, and I'm going to leave the loose ends at the center bottom. And I actually forgot about this step when I actually sewed it together, but don't forget to include the ends of the strapping to the sides of the backpack. So then I just sewed the loose ends together, and I'm going to cut off some of the excess and then sew everything down. And I definitely sewed the pieces together with like 2 or 3 stitches, so I definitely did a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch and maybe another straight stitch. And here I'm basically just checking to make sure that no threads were undone. Now I'm going to sew the front side of the main compartment to the siding. And again, I'll be doing like 2 to 3 stitches, maybe even 4. And this is what it should look like when it's turned right side out. Here I cut a piece of interfacing that I'm going to iron on to the bottom. Now I'm going to cut these 3 pieces of Heat and Bond, which will be used to attach the interfacing to the lining. When you finished ironing, you want to remove the plastic part and just leave this as is for now. Then I'm going to place the lining into the black backpack, and I'm going to fold in the raw edges of the black fabric inside, and then I'm going to sew the zipper on. So I realized that the side of the zipper without the zipper head, it still had an opening to the inside, and so I just hand sewed that portion closed. To finish the inside up, I'm going to iron on where I had the heat and bond, and I have these clips at the top just to make sure that the lining doesn't move. Here I have two rectangular pieces that I'm going to sew on three sides and turn right side out, and this is going to be a clasp for the handles. With it right sides turned out, for the open end I'm going to fold in the raw edges and sew them down. Taking the handle from the back side, I'm going to fold this rectangular piece over it and I'm going to sew it down. However, I'm not going to sew down the handle because I still want this rectangular piece to move around. Taking some sew-on snaps, one side of it is going to be right there, and then the other side is going to be so that when I wrap this rectangular piece around both handles, it'll be able to snap on to the one right there. After hand sewing it, it should be able to snap and unsnap. So I'm going to go ahead and personalize the backpack, so I have this kind of pin and I painted it white, and I usually like to use the ones with the safety pin type of back, but this was the only one I could find. And then I'm going to take this customized logo and I'm going to Mod Podge it down. And finally, with iron-on transfer paper, I'm ironing my logo onto the front pocket. And here's the final reveal.